would you have a problem investing in him?
What does investing in him mean?
Let's say he needed $700 a month to help fuel this dream. He needed $700 for 24 months. Could you do it?
Oh my God.
All right, let's get into it.
These are two extreme scenarios here, because I think if a man we're talking about financial equity, if he is making enough to build a household with you, to be a leader in the household, I think women are okay with that. I think that's not what they're getting. I think they're getting the other end of the spectrum. That's what we're hearing. You know what I mean?
Would you have a problem if you met a man who made half of what you made or a third of what you made, but he had a financial vision of an empire, a business, some sort of an entrepreneurial undertaking?
See, I think that's dangerous.
Stay with me.
That's dangerous.
Let me finish it, and then I want you to respond. And he needed you to help invest in his dream. And he gave you a definitive timeline. He said, give me 12 months or 24, no more than that. If you invest in me, I promise you what I'm going to build will equal where you are. Would you have a problem investing in him?
What does investing in him mean?
Let's say he needed $700 a month to help fuel this dream. He needed $700 for 24 months. Could you do it?
Ladies, if you met a guy, all right, so let's give a little context. If you meet a guy and hold up, we need chat involvement on this one. We need chat involvement on this one. But if you meet a guy, are you willing to invest in him? And I'm just repeating what Dr. Umar is saying. I'm not saying, I'm not letting y'all know yet exactly how I feel on this particular part of the conversation. But would you be willing to invest? This is what he's saying. You meet a guy, he's not your husband. You like him, he likes you. Would you be willing to invest this every month for 24 months? What did he say? $700? Would you be willing to invest $700? Let's actually do the math here. Let's do the math. 7 times 24, 140, 7 times 4. So what is that? 168. Hold on. Let me do my 700 times 24. Yep. 16,800. All right. So $16,800. Whew. Would you be willing to invest that over 2 years in a guy that's not your husband? Would you be willing to? So let's keep going with the conversation.
Reluctant.
I am reluctant because what's the guarantee?
There is no guarantees in love. There is no guarantees in romance.
And also, I think
what she's saying is, if things go left, how am I going to get my investment back?
I think context matters. How long have we been together?
I agree.
You know, if it's just a guy that I met last year and all of a sudden he has these dreams and he wants me to fund it.
For about 2 years. You like him. There might even be some love there. And he's saying
there might be some love there is crazy. There has to be some love there.
Let's say there
has to be a future there. And I think that's what I'm saying. Context matters. If I see.
Okay, real quick. When she says there has to be love there, I totally agree with that. But first and foremost, what is love? We don't know, right? To each their own. And love has never prevented anybody from breaking up, from doing somebody dirty or anything else like that. So the love, I guess that's just from a feeling standpoint. It makes you feel more comfortable giving the money and investing the money. But my question would be, I don't know why she didn't ask this. And maybe Dr. Umar is getting ready to get into it, but if you're willing to invest let's just say $17,000 over 2 years in somebody, wouldn't it make sense for that person to commit to you and at least propose or maybe even get married? But then the question comes up, if he's making less than you. And so that was the context. I think, I'm not sure that we went back far enough, or maybe let me give the full context. So this is a person, this lady was complaining about a lot of men or a lot of women that she talks to, complaining about the men not making the same amount of money as her. So Dr. Umar said, well, are you willing to invest in that man? If you're making more than him, maybe he has a financial vision of a business or entrepreneurial venture that he believes will turn a profit. And are you willing to invest in it? So my thing would be is, I guess she wouldn't even marry him because he makes so much less than her now. But what I would say is, okay, if you're willing to if you're willing to marry, if you're willing to make this investment, are you also willing to marry me before I reach a certain level of making a certain amount of money that's on the level that you're looking for? First and foremost, that's what I would say. But I guess she would have to answer whether or not she's willing to marry him. Let's keep going.
Myself
Will,
with
but
this
you didn't
man.
answer the question. Let's say
Yeah.
all those things are there. Will you financially invest in him? Be honest, my queen. They already answered for you. They said hell to the nizzo.
Yeah. Look.
Why not, though? Why do you have a problem with that? Given the atmosphere of racism and economic oppression that black men suffer in Australia, why would you have a
But what
problem
are black
investing
men
in your
subject
king?
to that women are not? We're
Say that
going through
again.
the same thing.
True, but it operates.
No, not true. Men and women are not going through the same thing. Black men and black women are not going through the same thing. I don't care how many people try to jump out here, how many women say black women are the least protected, all this other stuff. I don't care. It's very clear. All you have to do is look at the crime bill. All you have to do is look at a nature show when a male lion is taking over another pride. They're not treating the female cubs or the female that are in the pride the same way that they treat the males. They're killing the male cubs and they're killing any males that are part of that pride. We know that how to attack a family is the same. It's like the answer to our problem is what they've targeted in our families. What do I mean by that? Across the board, what is the answer to a lot of our problems? Having a strong black father in the household, right? So that's obviously what they've targeted in order to push whatever type of supremacy that they've tried in the past now, or continue to try, I guess, depending on how you look at it. So it's different. Now, Dr. Umar said it's the same. I believe as we move on, he then acknowledges that it is different, but let's keep going.
Operates differently. The racism against black men is significantly more aggressive than the racism against black women. Now, I don't want to get into an oppression Olympics because I agree with you. We all suffer and we suffer together. But a man's primary responsibility is to be a provider. And we don't feel adequate as men when we can't provide. So your king, who you love, who you've been dating for 2 or 3 years, is saying, baby, invest in me for these 18 to 24 months. And I promise you, I will cross that finish line. You're still reluctant.
I'm reluctant. I'm reluctant. As my husband, if we were married and something like that happened, of course, I would be open to doing that.
But would you be open to even marrying him if he was not the provider you needed him to be? He's saying, help me level up so I might can become the person you want to marry. He's asking you to help him level up.
So that's the question that first came up to me. That's the question that would you be willing to marry them? She said that, oh, it would be different for my husband. Okay, cool. Let's get married. You cool marrying somebody that's making half of what you're making, a third of what you're making, whatever that is, less than what your standard would be. So if you're not willing to do it, and let me be very clear, hold on. Let me be very clear. Because I don't want anybody listening to this to make it seem like I'm sounding like I'm 100% on board with Dr. Umar. I don't think that it's any guy. I don't think any guy should be relying on a woman investing in his business. I wouldn't be comfortable with that. I'll be totally honest. Even if the business is a success, that is something that, in my opinion, is going to be held over your head for a very, very, very long time. That's just how I see it. I would rather, and maybe this is the pride and the ego, maybe it is talking, and maybe if I thought about it a little bit more, I would reevaluate it and maybe make a different decision. I'd rather go to the bank. I'd rather take out a credit card and pay interest. I'm not borrowing money from a girl that I'm dating, a woman that I'm dating. I'm not borrowing money from her to start a business. That's just me. That's your boss. What does Dame Dash always say? The one who puts the bread up, that's your boss. I'm not having my girl as my boss for 2 years and then that hanging over my head for however long it takes me to pay her back. And then even after that, her saying, look, I'm not rocking with it. Just me. I'd rather, look, I'm going to figure out something else. So that's just me.
I think.
Let me tell you why you're reluctant. And I don't have a problem with your reluctance, but I want to explain something.
Okay.
And I want all my young sisters to hear me. A big difference between the snow bunny.
And Maya wrote, there should be love There should be love for, especially after 2 years of dating. Yeah, there should be love. I mean, it doesn't take long to fall in love. There's people that fall in love with love is the easy part. Falling in love is the easy part, in my opinion. It's all the other stuff that comes along with it when the lust and that initial magic is not there. That's the hard part. The love is easy. They throwing around love as if that means something, as if that's a real commitment. Like what exactly is that? That's just an extreme level of like love is shown in actions over a period of time, in my opinion. So yeah, that's just me. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon.